Hey everybody, it's Jeff with ID10T Garage, and we're back working on the 53 F250 for the Hot Rod Power Tour. This is the final week. Basically, are we going to make it or not? So we're going to work on the radiator and the cooling system to make sure we got this thing in tip-top shape and ready to go. So let's get to it.
In my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stop.
Alright, back out here in the garage getting these final touches. So I basically have just been driving the truck around today, checking it out, checking my fuel, MPGs and so on, trying to see if it's working better since my last trip with the overdrive button on. About 13 miles a gallon right now. My speedometer off about 3 miles per hour, so I just swapped the gear on it again. So I'm hoping that gear change will maybe make it slightly more efficient. It's probably not going to be much. The fan is wired always on, but I disconnected it and got it up to about 205 degrees with the stock wiring and a stock fan, and it kicked in. So now I got to try to get this fan mounted back in place to see if we can use the stock setup. So I don't think the mounting stuff's there, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to mount it and then get it in place, and just, it might be a tight squeeze, but time to try to figure it out later. Well, what do you know? We're gonna have fucking problems. The radiator's leaking. So, right behind the reservoir, basically just a stream coming right out the radiator. So now I've got to pull this radiator out and replace it. I'll be getting the radiator tomorrow from Advanced. Luckily, they didn't have any stock, but they said he'd have one first thing in the morning. So I'll be getting that, but might as well start pulling it out. Alright, working. So basically, there's no support structure. It was held in by 2 sheet metal screws. So now, so far, and this is hard to see, but that's my trans cooler, I believe, and I've got it held in now by 3 sheet metal screws. And I'm going to do is take a 1x1 bar across the center right above it, and that should allow me some more structure, because what I'm thinking is I'll take these 2 bolt holes, they go all the way through, and I'll use those to bolt to that 1x1 bar. Previously it was just 1 bolt that was sheet metal screw went all the way through this and into that section, and then it was bolted as well to the transcooler. So basically one bolt here, there were 2 freaking zip ties on the bottom to zip tied around stuff, and then the other side was just held on by the transcooler, which only had 1 bolt in it. So that's what I'm working on, just trying to make this more structurally sound. So about to cut up some 1x1 tubing and see if we can get this structured in good. There it is. We got our bar in place. That'll give us a little more structure. It looks like it probably needs a 1/4 inch spacer between it and the radiator. It looks like the radiator I have might be bent. Looks like they kind of, yeah, look at that. They just fucked this thing up. So it's good to know that. But I got some little spacers. So when I pre-drilled 2 holes in the middle of this where that it should mount. So what it'll be is it'll have 4 mounting points essentially. There's 2 bolts that mount to this trans cooler. So we'll bolt it in there. And then there's also 2 hooks that basically hook onto the trans cooler on the bottom. And then I'll have 2 bolts in the top going through that crossbar, and should be a little more secure. Well, till tomorrow. Hey, back out here getting to work. Starting to put the radiator in and get everything mounted back up. So let's go. Well, we got the radiator in, essentially. We got 2 sheet metal screws going into our 1-inch bar there, and then there's 2 bolts going into the trans cooler as well, and then there's also a little latch mechanism on the bottom. Now I'm working on getting the stock fan installed, and I need a longer M6 screw to go into this side, and then this side is broken, so I'll probably have to zip tie it oddly enough. So we'll figure out something there a little bit later, but I'm off to Lowe's to get some screws, and then we gotta start getting this thing together. The biggest thing with this, and that I'm really excited about, is it has a mount. So this right here and this right here is to mount the cooling reservoir. So it'll sit in place the way it's supposed to. So, all right, later. Well, this is going to be take 2. So I got everything installed. Everything was looking great. As soon as I got it filled up, it started leaking all over the place. There was a hairline crack in the plastic housing on the outside. So I just had to go swap it out in advance. And now back to installing it a second time. So here we go. All right, so we got everything in place. I even test drove it after pretty much bleeding the coolant system about 3-4 times. So we're running good again, staying cool. I ran it about 40 miles, interstate and regular roads, and so far so good. The fan kicks on at 200 degrees, so it is working. So far no leaks. So I got a couple little things I want to tighten up. I think I'm gonna replace my idle pulley because it's squeaking a little bit. At least I think that's what it is, because I've already replaced the tensioner and the belt. So, but need to tidy up a little some of these wires and a few odds and ends. But probably as good as we're gonna be. We're gonna go. So as long as nothing goes wrong this week, we're going to the Hot Rod Power Tour. So I'll probably take a couple more videos throughout the week, a couple little more snaps, and figure out, I might just go overview everything that we had to get done this week to make it ready. So later. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning into this week's episode. At this point, it's a go. We're going to go on the Hot Rod Power Tour. I'm starting to pack everything in here and get it ready. We had to replace the radiator twice since the first one was leaking all over the damn place. And it's just been crazy getting everything ready this week, but it looks like we're good to go. I've been driving it around. I've been doing all sorts of little things, tweaking, checking my air pressure in my tires, checking all my fluid levels. But come Sunday, we're headed out to go to Memphis, get an early start, and see what we can do. So I'm going to try to be posting some shorts along the road, you know, just 30-second clips here on my YouTube channel. So keep your eyes out for those. We'll try to keep, you know, getting stuff out there, but there will probably not be an episode next Friday because I'm going to be out of town driving all over the place. So appreciate you guys. Like always, like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you soon.
In my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping out.